Hi, it's me. I'm not sure if this is one of my favorites. It's definitely not one of my worst, but I did it so it goes on the pile. Of course, started off with the soft pastel, just putting in there where I want the trees to be in my forest scene. I knew I was going to make this very, very blurry because it's only the background, so it was easy to just simply start picking the colors and putting it in. I don't know why my video went so slow here when I recorded this. Let's see if it comes right. It's gonna come right now. Just wait for it. There we go. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I did something without realizing it. So yes, forest scene, owl, woman. Started off with background, soft pastels, and of course blurry, blurry, blurry. I used 2 different greens, or was it 3 different greens? But anyway, yeah, 2 different greens, yes. And then dusting it off, smudging it in, and don't forget to spray after each layer, putting in where the highlights are going to be, putting in the darkest places. And then I started with the owl using my acrylic paint white, and I just put in most of the highlights there where the little feathers is and eyes. My owl did not come out the way I wanted to come out. It came out too short and stocky, and I can fool myself and tell myself, nah, it was just, puffed up and hunchy, but the owl needed to be bigger. So I don't know why I drew it so small, but I suppose it's not a total train smash. You can tell me in the comments what you think, for those who watch the video all the way to the end. For those who don't, just give me a like anyway. Okay, no, you don't have to. Seriously. Okay, started off with white, highlights, and then I just slowly added in the color. For the color part, I mostly used yellows, browns, and something like burnt sienna and burnt umber. I used both, adding a little bit of yellow in there as well. And some of the colors I made lighter, and some of the colors I made darker with white and black. And I tried to get as much detail in there as possible, but without going overboard. I'm not sure if I was happy. Oh, and the eyes. I kept on having trouble with the eyes. You'll see I'll keep on going back to the eyes. I wanted to make the eyes as if it was glowing in the dark forest, but I just couldn't get the glow right this time. So I had to keep on revisiting the eyes, keep on revisiting it, until I thought maybe it looked like something. That flapping of the newspaper you see every now and then is my fan being on, because it was so hot that this time I didn't even care if it blew my paint dry before I was finished. I just needed a little bit of air, so I kept it on. Same with the face. I started with the highlights first, putting in the nose, the forehead. Wanted her to look slightly up, so I just used plain white for where the highlights was going to go, and then I added the shading afterwards. Just blended it in, blended softly. For instance, there where the forehead is, I would make a hard line of white, plain white, and then I would just blend it in, and then making sure that there's enough highlights on the cheeks and those places. And then I started off for the skin color. I kept most of the green in because obviously it will serve as reflective light, but for the skin color I mostly used burnt umber and dark brown. Yes, that's what I used. Then I started with the foreground flowers. I wanted it to be like a rounder. I painted tiger lilies, just quick ones. I didn't spend too much time on it, but obviously also put in the base color and the highlights and made it darker where it needed to be. It came out pretty. I'm happy with the flowers, but for the most part I enjoy painting flowers. Put a little flower there in her hair. Revisited the face and added more detail, more highlights, more shading, and a very fine tip brush. I actually like this brush. It's not really a detailer brush, but it's so fine at the end that it works better than the detailer brush that I do have. So I could add in more streakiness for the hair, and it just worked out good. I love that brush. I wonder what the expression would be on this face. She doesn't look like it's wonder, and I think maybe that's something that puts me off of this painting, is actually the face. I don't know what I was going for. I should have thought about it more carefully and given her a little bit more of an expression instead of this deadpan face. So yeah, I just added in a little bit more of the skin color, and then I went more into the background and details in the ugly little owl. Dwarf owl. Yeah, it's a dwarf owl. Did I say owl? I meant owl. A dwarf owl. And then I gave it more detail. I mean, like very sharp highlights around the edges where I was thinking that the light would catch it. The foreground didn't come out too bad. I liked putting in the highlights and the extra shading in the flowers, and just revisiting everything layer upon layer upon layer. And then I decided I need a little bit more green in the background, so for that I used my soft pastel and more of the streaks of the sunlight coming through, brushing up, and then I dropped my phone and it fell on the bed where I was painting. Yeah, I was drawing and painting on my bed. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea, but that's what I did. Anyway, brushed off the excess with a paintbrush and then gave it another layer of spray before I went in and sharpened up the edges a little bit more, because obviously then some of the dust of the soft pastel went over some of my lines, so I had to revisit that one. Annoyingly, the fan kept on blowing the edge of the newspaper over my painting. And did I stop that? No, I didn't. Needed more streaks apparently. So yeah, I made more streaks. Brushed off, sprayed again. Oh, and I'm done. Thanks for liking. Just love and subscribe. Okay, thank you. Gotta go. Bye.